Asia. They're also known as civilized people. Bloodsuckers of the poor make you think that God is some mystery God. Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us that there is 5% who are the poor righteous teachers, who don't believe the teaching of lies of the 10%, but this 5% are all wise and know who the true and living God is, and they teach that the true and living God is the Son of Man, the supreme being, the black man of Asia. They're also known as civilized people, Muslims and Muslim sons. Here is a small percentage of people who know God, and when they know God, they have a duty, and that duty is to teach what you know to those who do not know. Then those of us who are in pursuit of that duty have 10%, the rich, the bloodsuckers of the poor, the slave makers of the poor. They hate the 5%. They have control over 85%. So they turn the 85% against the righteous teacher. This is how they've been able to kill the prophets, kill their communities, because the leaders who are the bloodsuckers of the poor have control over the minds of the masses, and they feed the masses more lies about a righteous teacher, so that the righteous teacher will be persecuted by the 10%, not helped by the 85%, so that they can kill the righteous teacher. But a new thing is happening today. A new thing is happening today.
Well, it's Monday Follies. A radical priest tries to rehab Farrakha. A panel of Democrats fight over 2020, and one dad you want to avoid in the field. Joining us now with all the details, Raymond Arroyo, who's contributor, of course, Will Wilder, author. Raymond, I thought after Farrakha was banned from Facebook that, I don't know, his days in the spotlight are coming to an end. Now, a Catholic priest is trying to resurrect him.
Laura, it's simply unbelievable. Chicago priest Father Michael Flager, a leftist activist, which we'll get into in a moment. Yeah, he invited the controversial Nation of Islam leader to speak at his Chicago parish yesterday. The reason, he wants Farrakha back on Facebook. Watch.
Minister Farrakha has been a bold voice against injustice done against black people in this country. His voice deserves and needs to be heard.
To underscore the point, Flager broadcast Louis Farrakhan's visit from his parish on Facebook, flouting their ban, even though Farrakhan was banned from the social media site, in part because of his allegedly anti-Semitic speech.
To the white people who think I'm a hater, you don't know me, but somebody made you hate me. This is just the beginning. Banning me from a social platform, I use that platform with respect. And I'm here to separate the good Jews from the satanic Jews.
Laura, this man, he's out of his mind. And for Flager to think that this is appropriate or in any way social justice to bring a man like this spouting hatred and anti-Semitism to a Catholic church, frankly, it's amazing to me that the Chicago Archdiocese hasn't intervened here, Laura. Outrageous.
Flager has been doing this nonsense, this type of stuff, Raymond, for years, and yet the Vatican looks the other way. There's no comment. Flager has been a nightmare, frankly, for a lot of Catholics in the Chicago area and frankly across the country for a long, long time.
Honorable Minister Louis Farrakha, and saying that he's dangerous. And you have to ask the question, dangerous to who, dangerous to what? And so I wanted to offer up my personal testimony to give insight into dangerous to who and dangerous to what. I am a Caucasian. Obviously, I have a Caucasian man. I have 6 Caucasian children. I don't fit the profile of somebody that is supposed to be learning from the Nation of Islam. However, I was brought into the teachings by Dr. Khalid Muhammad Again, it was not a lecture that was meant for me, but I had never heard a man talk like that before, and I desperately wanted to know what he was talking about. I was raised 40 miles outside of New York City, hardly ever saw black people, anybody of color. I think there were only a handful of even Jewish kids in our school, and I didn't realize that my life was like that on purpose until I was 20 years old. So growing up for 20 years in a Truman Show-like reality where everything was orchestrated just so like you didn't see the cracks in Caucasian society and you just kept continuing it. I was not that kid. I never really fit in well. And so when I heard the voice of Dr. Khalid Muhammad, I really had to know what he was talking about.
Who has taken the point for the Nation of Islam and the global movement to expose the wickedness of
known for at least 10 years that the MMR vaccine is harming black baby boys. And I thought to myself, oh my God, we need to tell the black community right away. Because the one thing I do know about the black community for sure, if you look at our history, they get it done. You want some change in the world, societal change that makes a difference for all people? The black community knows how to get that done. So what did I do? Being uninformed and ignorant, I reached out to the NAACP. Did I get a call back? And I pleaded, you need to listen to me. The black community is being harmed at an advanced rate, a higher rate. You need to listen to me. I need a meeting right away. We'll get back to you. Didn't hear. Called the ACLU. This is so important. Black baby boys are being harmed at an increased rate. Please sit with me. 15 minutes is all I need. No call back. I called my assemblyman, Sebastian Ridley Thomas in California. I begged and pleaded for a meeting with him. Nope. I called my California Senator, Holly Mitchell. By the way, Sebastian Ridley Thomas, black man. Holly Mitchell, black woman. Nothing. I called Karen Bass, my congresswoman, black woman. Pleading, begging for 15 minutes, I can tell this story. No, thank you. We believe in the science. And I beg, the science is, they've lied. They've lied to all of us, and the black community deserves to know the truth. We're not interested.
wow.
So I met a wonderful woman by the name of Lucy Cole. And frankly, I had given up. I didn't know where else to find the most powerful, most influential black leader in the world. So God sent me Lucy Cole in front of a meeting where I was going to be speaking. And with this beautiful Cheshire cat grin, she says, hi. And I'm like, hi. And then she said, is anybody doing anything about the black community and the whistleblower? And I was like, girl, I have tried. And they did not respond. I guess they're not interested. I don't know who else to call. And this was the question that changed the course of this whole conversation. She said, well, what do we do now? That hit me like a lightning rod because I knew exactly what we needed to do. I just didn't know how to do it. I said, we need the most powerful, most influential black leader in the world I said, if I can get 15 minutes with that person, we will change history. No doubt. So then I gave her my number. She called a couple weeks. I got a meeting with you. I got a phone number for you. and it was Riza Islam. Can I get it? Now. And when I called Riza, the first thing he said is, yeah, I heard from this Lucy, and she said you have bad news for the black community. And I said, I sure do. It's very serious. And he said, okay, I set up a meeting next Wednesday. I'm like, whoa, this guy is not messing around. Fabulous. Fantastic. But then this is what he said, I need you to bring your big guns. I'm like, how big? How big are we talking? He's like, big. So then I promised Bobby Kennedy, having had no contact with Bobby Kennedy, and that's where God comes in. First, God sent me Lucy. Then God sent me Riza. Then God sent me Bobby Kennedy. We had our meeting in Inglewood, California. We explained everything that's going on. And then after Minister Tony took the information and vetted what we were talking about and really looked into it, wanted to make sure we're not crazy, we're not lying, we're not fabricating all this stuff, then we had the opportunity to go meet with Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, I don't have to tell you, because you clearly are way ahead of the curve here, okay? Minister Louis Farrakhan is going to go down in history as the person who saved humanity . He is the lover of all people. All people. And I hear the rhetoric and I hear the drama that they put out about him on social media and whatnot. I don't believe a word of it. That man is the unifier. He is the voice of truth. He is the peacemaker. And because we've been hypnotized by mainstream media, not we, them, we've all kind of woken up, haven't we?
Bought and paid for. This is a hell of a betrayal of the American people when you will not tell them the truth because you're afraid that if you tell the truth, your bosses will take your job from you. That's a hell of a thing. You don't have a democracy when you don't have a free press. You're all slaves, and you love it. So you deserve what you get, the erosion of your democracy. You'll soon be the laughing stock of the world.
That works out to less than 50 cents a
It's a damn shame. That's why the children are occupying space in New York, in Boston, in Washington, in Chicago, in San Francisco, and other cities. Why? Because they're not looking to you as a source of information for them. Look how long it took you all to talk about what was going on in New York. It took you 2 weeks because the same people that controlled the banks controlled the media. You all know it, but you're afraid to say it. But God put it on Farrakhan to say it for you. And maybe one day you'll get some courage to stand up and give America free media. The state. But right now,
you ain't even worth the time of day.
You ain't even worth the time of day. That's correct.
So, the Western media outlets, especially the United States media outlets, are accusing you these days of leading to the United States. I just read a couple of news items about you and how the Western media is accusing you of chanting the death to the United States. I want to ask you this question. Are you willing to chant the slogan of death to the United States? Because you are a person who is living in the United States, and you are a person who is exposed to some of the policies that are done and conducted against you, carried out against you in the United States. The black community is in the United States is humiliated, and you are a black person, and at the same time you're a Muslim, and as you see, Muslims these days are exposed to some of the wrong policies committed by the United States. So would you chant this slogan of
No, I will not do that. I will not do that. I would ask who sent you to ask that question.
That's right.
I see you seem to be one of those who are paid at Press TV to provoke that. That's not my chant. Listen to me. No, listen to me. You asked me a question. Your question, I heard you. I heard you. But I also heard something else about you that I don't like. You want me to chant because they lied on me and said I led a chant. I know that chant came from the people of Iran. And this sanction is what's hurting the people of Iran. They have a right to chant it. But I am not a chanter. I am a worker for God. And the truth will undo falsehood, and the righteous will win against the wicked. Not with a chant, but with actual words and deeds. I don't like your attitude, man. I don't like that. You know, I have to say this. I'm not just listening to your questions. God is showing me your motives. And I'm addressing with anger your motive. I know the question. I don't like it. Now, I'll take one or two more questions, but if you have not heard me yet, then I'm wasting my time.